History and historical memory have been particularly sensitive topics in post-martial law Taiwan. During its single-party rule over Taiwan from 1947 to 1987, the KMT sought to control the representation of history. It suppressed local Taiwan history and upheld a Sinocentric view of the past, a cultural policy that served the KMT's political platform that Taiwan was part of China and the nationalists had an in absentia dominion over the mainland. So from the 1950s to the 1980s, the KMT propagated its historical and cultural vision in museums and memorial sites, particularly in Taipei. Exhibitions in the 1950s promoted an anti-communist agenda and the nationalist fantasy of restoring the country, Fuguo. Typical of museums and memorial sites in the nationalist era were the National History Museum, the National Palace Museum, the Sun Yat-sen Memorial Hall, and the Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall. These sites presented a Sinocentric view of Chinese history, or they contributed to the propagation of the cult of Chiang Kai-shek. In the fall of 2011, not long after Beijing unveiled its new National Museum of China, the National Museum of Taiwan History celebrated its grand opening in Tainan in southern Taiwan. This is the first museum dedicated to the history of Taiwan. The idea for the museum can be traced back to 1992 during the Li Denghui presidency, after martial law had been lifted and the KMT's grip on power was loosening. However, it took more than 7 years for a preparatory committee to be formed and almost 20 years for the museum in Tainan to finally open to the public, suggesting the difficulty of reaching consensus as to what kind of story to tell. Social history is at the forefront of a special exhibit called Taiwan Memories, which appears at the end of the main exhibit, but it's a constant throughout the museum. The museum's mission statement lists one of its goals as, quote, to construct common historical memories for the Taiwan people. Given the multiple political, social, and ethnic constituencies in Taiwan, it's no easy task to arrive at a common historical memories. But in an attempt to do so, the museum avoids or downplays memories that serve the interests of one constituency or that makes another look bad in the name of creating a sense of common investment in a national narrative. A narrative of diversity leading to democratic pluralism serves this purpose nicely, as does a nostalgic mode of representation that downplays historical trauma, political repression, and ethnic conflict.